All right, and welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I'm James and Felton and Keith. I have a lot of first names here with Tim Keith. And yeah, just another orientation for our November, December certification course in ISO 30415. We're recording and cropping for everybody out there in internet land. And yeah, this is just a orientation, information session about the upcoming course that starts on November 5th. And we'll get right to it. We'll just try to go through the mechanics of the course, how to log in, how to find it, etc. And be available to answer any questions either that you all have right here or that you have to follow up on later. So again, it's just that date is wrong, but it'll be November 5th. And again, the certification is has been used by over 500 companies, by individuals across the globe, across 14 countries in Southern Africa, in India, in Europe, in North America, and also we have Spanish and French speaking courses in Latin America and France. Here we'll go over the ISO 30415 standard, and our core objective is teaching everyone how to audit in this standard. So we'll be your course leaders, Zimkita and myself, and we'll be available for Q&A during the once weekly live sessions on Tuesdays. You'll also meet with and get lectures from Dr. Dawn Bennett Alexander. She wrote the first employment law book, which turned employment law into a global discipline. And it was also one of the first notable diversity, equity, and inclusion leaders who were looking at corporate operations as a proxy of risk and grievances and competitiveness, both locally and globally, but also insurance risk tied to employment practices. And we'll also be joined by Ephinus Henderson, who was the lead convener between Geneva and the world during the construction of the ISO 30415 standard. So these two have been kind of doing this work for the past 40 years each. The benefits of the program are pretty straightforward. Our main objective is to equip you with tools to audit any organization of any kind, a government, a for-profit, a nonprofit, a large org, a small org, in the ISO 30415 standard. Secondly, we'll support you with some tools and tactics to do that. So we'll give you real actionable things to use, a manual, some spreadsheet documentation that itemizes the standard so that you could immediately after this course go into any organization and start implementing the standard. A third benefit is you'll definitely expand your network of diversity, inclusion, or diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging professionals globally. Again, it's a good support group to understand how people are doing this in other places. And last but not least, you'll achieve the certificate, which we will keep track of at the DISM Forum, which is the certifying body in this standard, which is that little circle that you see at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Again, more than 500 companies. This is actually old data, and 500 companies in 25 countries. It's expanded, and we've kind of stopped keeping track. But here are just some of the reviews from people at companies that we've been working with over the past. Now, regarding the program structure, it's 4 weeks. And so it's 4 weeks of asynchronous lecturing. I think this is the part that matters. Oh, Zimkeith, go ahead.
Now, I was saying it's extended to 5 now because the first week will have the orientation. We've just added 1 week. Remember?
Okay. Yes, right. Right. So we'll have that extra, that fifth week of lecture. And during each week, we will have one live session, again, on Tuesdays via Zoom. We'll send out a series of email invites to everyone. And during those sessions, we really spend a lot of time going over questions and answers, but we'll also take you through a case study where we will audit a company together. In the lectures, when you hear us mention auditing or case study, excuse me, we will do that case study live together in real time each Tuesday throughout the 5 weeks for the 60-minute live session. And through that process, you'll see how exactly we would audit a company and rank their maturity in the various portions of the standard. And so again, we'll start in November, and here are those, as Zimkeitha mentioned, those 5 weeks, sorry, not 4. And yeah, following up on this, we'll send you some links on how to get registered. It's a very simple, straightforward portal where everyone can sign up. We'll probably already have your name and login information from the intake form that Zimkeith and company have provided. But yeah, pretty straightforward platform. It looks something like this. There'll just be more data and things to do in a timeline to take the lectures. So yeah, we produce this platform. It's right on the website. Again, this is just more screenshots of how the timeline looks. Again, it'll be very straightforward. We'll cover it also during the live sessions of how you use the toolbar that you see here on the left-hand side of your screen. Oh, Zimkeitha. I thought you were gonna say
yeah.
something.
I just wanted to add a few information. Can you allow me to share, James, to share my screen?
Yes, sure. Let me multiple participants. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, good afternoon, Charlotte and Onati. I hope you're good. I didn't greet you guys. Sorry about that.
Hi.
I just wanted to add to what James has presented to us, mainly like a few information about the standard. We know the standards have been around for a long time, but most interestingly, I wanted to share this information that the insurance industry in the US and Europe, they are now in the process of adopting the ISO, the 30415, this ISO, as the golden standard. So it's growing, and also the community is growing. It's also designed to be measurable and scalable to the needs of all types of organizations. So it doesn't matter whether it's a government institution, whether it's private company, small company, a big corporate, it is designed to be able to cater to all types of companies and sizes. And another important thing to mention is that it is aligned to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Goal number 5, which is gender equality. Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, 9 and 10. I don't know if you saw recently, South Africa was rated. I think we are, instead of improving when it comes to gender pay gap, we are not improving at all. So using tools like this standard within corporates can help us to better those ratings. And also the standard is guided by the principle of human rights at work. So this tool here that we're introducing is an international standard. And also, James, maybe you can mention something about the technical one that's going to be introduced next year, the technical standard, which
Yes.
is part of this standard as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I
I'll
just
put it
wanted
up
to
and
add
show
that
everyone.
information.
No, that's great. Yeah, I'll pull up some links. I'll share so everyone can just see this in real time. So when a standard comes out, there's always two standards. There's the standard itself, which is here at this link that anyone can read. During the course, we'll give everyone a manual of these in question form. I'm putting this in the chat group so that you can use it in a more actionable way than the way that it's written in this document. But you can download this directly from the ISO website for, I think, a fee. It's only in English and French yet, so far, unfortunately. But going forward, after the standard is published, and again, there are 22,000 standards that regulate everything from the textiles in your shirts to the petrol in your vehicle, you name it. But in this standard, and when each one comes out, there's the language of the standard itself, and then there's what we call the technical specification or the implementation manual. And this implementation manual is due to come out, we believe, at the top of the year. And again, as Nkita said, it ties into the SDG goals from the United Nations. You can go on this site and see the progress that we're making with the standard when it goes to committee. A lot of our certified diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging professionals from this program are also giving input to this standard. There are more of us at this point globally than the original community, which is why we started this, to expand and democratize the perspective. And so I'll add this as well. When this comes out, and this is important, governments, whether they be national or local, everywhere will be able to use the standard to mandate audits in the standard to meet not only the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, but other goals, right? And so everyone's sort of waiting on this, whether they're French or American or South African or Peruvian or Mexican, will all be able to communicate to each other using common language around how we're implementing the standard once this is out. So I'll share that link as well. Azimkita, looks like you were going to say something. Oh.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, James.
So yeah, so both of these are really important. Again, we'll go through both of them. We also are holding a forum, a conference later this month, which, you know, even though this course starts after that, we'll certainly invite you all to get a taste of what we're doing. But at this conference, we'll caucus around changes and updates to both this standard and this standard. And, you know, taking perspectives, again, from across the globe. And just to piggyback on what Zamkita mentioned earlier with regards to the insurance industry, the industry is reacting to a rising rate of grievances across the globe that turn into insurance claims. So with regards to the gender pay gap that she mentioned earlier, what we're seeing, especially in democratic countries like South Africa, with a court system that acknowledges individual grievances, is we're seeing higher insurance costs for employment practice liability. And so big insurance is using this standard and the breakout sections of the standard to evaluate companies' ability to mitigate risks, hear women, hear Black people and people of color and disabled people and LGBT people, and you name it, neurodivergent people, as they scale their workforce. So this is also being used as a tool of diplomacy as governments try to speak to each other to figure out how they can put people into the normal economy, whether they're in, again, Asia or Africa or Europe or you name it. So back to the original presentation, I put this link in the chat group as well. This is our LinkedIn group. There are a bunch of people in here from, across the globe. And again, it's just another good place to, oops, this thing started from the beginning. Sorry, I'll just go down here and do it this regular way. But yeah, so if you care to join, or if you're on LinkedIn, everyone's not on LinkedIn, feel free to get there. Again, this slide is a little wrong. There's a week 5 here, but all we ask is during the process, trust the process. In the first week, it's going to seem confusing, very confusing, as we ask you questions to try to understand where you are or how you understand diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. But by week 2, we think people normally understand why we're doing what we're doing as we go into the audits and we show people how you can audit the company. And again, successful completion of the program is really just participating in the live sessions each week and taking the final exam. You take the final exam, you have to pass with a 70 or above. You have multiple opportunities to take it. It is also open book exam. There will be quizzes each week, but those quizzes are not graded in the way that the final exam is. And then we have a short survey at the end to see what we could make better, what we could change about the course. But this is an example of what the certification looks like. Zimkeith and Karina are available, and my email is always open as well. We're available to answer any questions. I want to zoom in on this one thing though. This is what the standard looks like graphically. And so what we'll go over is, I think a lot of people still associate diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging with human resources. And while in most corporations it is still owned by human resources, it is bigger than human resources. It covers really 4 key areas that we're going to go over. This may still be too small to see, but it explores and provides standard questioning and actions and measures for governance, things we do with our executives. Human resources is obviously there, things we do with our employees, but also product delivery, whether your product is a service or something more tangible. And last but not least, supplier diversity, or who's in your supply chain. So if you're with a big company or you're with a government that sources a lot of materials from other companies, this standard also engages that. So it's sweeping, it's a broad sweeping standard that covers the entire business, but this process will help any organization gradually matriculate through identifying their maturity levels across the standard. This process sort of reduces the daunting feeling that you have to cover everything at once. You do not. But it can help guide other programs that may be in play, whether they be specific to cultural diversity or gender diversity or, BEE programs. They all fall under the umbrella of and can be deployed by the ISO 30415 standard. So just stop there really quick. Are there any questions? Any questions at all? I just want to click this link. I don't know what. Oh, okay. I just wanted to see where it went. But yeah. All right. So we're gonna crop this video and make it available to everyone. If there are any questions, any follow-up questions, we can leave them in the comments, email us directly. we'll answer promptly. We do this all day, so we're here. But yeah, that's all from me. Simkita.
Thank you so much, James, for that presentation. I don't know if you have any questions, Unati and Charlotte. Otherwise, like James said, we are available on email. Unati, I think you've got my number. You can WhatsApp me. Charlotte, I will share my contact details as well. You can contact us via WhatsApp or email. But if there's anything, please go on, ask.
I think Unati.
No, nothing from my side, James. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'm all clear for now.
Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going
Thank you, James and Simkita. No questions from me as well.
Okay.
Okay.
How do I do this?
Okay, thank you so much. Charlotte.